Hey guys, what's up? EFC here, and today we're back with another episode of Team Guides. Today we're doing it with Burnley. Burnley, surprisingly, a very interested and very balanced team. Like I said with the Arsenal, if you watched that, how top heavy Arsenal were, Burnley are very just average. If the same way I can say, they're a very average team all over. You've got no one that really stands out. So making decisions, you could have gone any way with this team, but I've decided to play more the way they do in real life. So this is more or less what we've gone for. So Pope in goal, it was him or Hart, and let's be honest, Pope's a better goalkeeper. Now in fullback position, because how we want to do is a bit more counter-attack-esque, we want our fullbacks to stay back. So we've got Lowton here. Good little solid, he's as solid as you like, you know, he's gonna do the job back there. The alternative is the lad here, once again very solid as you like. The only reason he's not in the starting team is he's got, well, his composure's a bit off I suppose, and he's getting old, so you know, you've got good little players there, but I would say you're going to need another right back. The reason being 34, you want to try and get someone to replace Lowton so Lowton could go on the bench. Moving to the back line of the two. Now, it's very controversial to put Gibson over me, but I'll explain my reason. First, I've got James Tarkowski. That's the one. 26 years old, so he's got plenty of years left in him. He's solid enough. Walsh's vision, I'd like it a bit higher, but no, solid option, certainly. Moving on to Gibson. The thing is, Gibson can grow, and he is already a very good defender. He's not, actually, if you compare to me. If we compare Gibson and me, they're both the same defensively. And whilst me is better in the air, bit quicker, physical, mental, Gibson offers more in terms of vision and technical and attack. Now, attack means nothing with how we'd want to play. I mean, it's great for in the opponent's box, I suppose, but overall, it's not going to mean too much, and nor is speed. So, you've got Gibson, who's the more technically and vision gifted defender. But if you're playing against bigger players like, you know, target man, whatnot, maybe you'd want to pick me, which, you know, aerial, mental, physical, things like that. But he's 29, so Gibson honestly has a few years on him. But either way, you can pick any of those three. The only thing is, if you pick me, he's not a ball playing defender, which means he's not going to be much good in terms of that. Now, I've left these two on defense. You can play them on stop, but then it kind of pulls them out of position. The thing I've done with them, I've put them on less pressing urgency. I'll explain that in greater detail soon. The other fullback we have is Taylor here. Once again, defend. He's going to do the job, and he's going to do it very well. 25 years of age. Otherwise, you do have Peters. Another great defender, and in certain ways, he's definitely he's definitely a better defender, but where age is concerned, Taylor can grow, so it don't really matter to me too much. I think I'd prefer Taylor there. So this is where it gets interesting. As a winger, we have Lennon. He's a good little winger. Obviously, I know he doesn't play as much in real life anymore, and his contract's about to expire, so you probably want to sign him up for, another year, just so he can kind of act as backup. He's good enough. He's going to do the job. He's going to run up and down his wings, but I'd like someone who's a bit quicker. On his opposite side, we have McNeil. Once again, he's the youngster everyone loves at Burnley. He's going to grow into a terrific player, and he's one of the better options, so I go with him. And in fairness, after next season, I'd probably try and lock him down to a 8-year contract if possible. If you don't know what I mean by that, it's 5 years and then with an optional extension of 3. I do, however, believe, yep, he can have his clause triggered as well. So I mean, 1 year on top of the 4 you've got, on 5 years, you'll have until he's 24 at the very least. Now the option you have from the bench for these two, you have Rodriguez, who can play anywhere from the striking position if needs be to the wings. Now, as a winger, he's a pretty good winger, so he could definitely do the job. His crossing's not great, but he can do it. And this lad, he was close to getting the position, but I choose youth a bit more, so he kind of lost out slightly. But a great option, solid all round, and probably the better player for big games, and maybe have McNeil as an impact sub. So we'll go to the middle of park. Now both of these have been instructed to press more urgently. Once again, I'll explain that soon. But we have Westwood, which is an absolutely terrific deep line playmaker. He's got everything you want. He's going to pick those balls and get everyone through on goal. Otherwise, you've got Cork, which is going to be the enforcer, obviously. Run around, get the ball. Tyler's midfielder, so he fits the picture perfectly. Now, like I said, I was going to explain the reason between a lot of this. If I quickly just go into the tactics, we've got a standard pressing on. The reason being is because a lot of players, we don't want to press them too much and open gaps in our back line. But if you just completely sit off, you'll find against a lot of teams they will shoot outside the box and eventually get a goal in. We do not want that. So these two are sitting off, just keeping solid. I don't know if I did anything to these. Yeah, right. So these two just sit off, just be solid so no one gets past them with their 1-2s and whatnot, and the rest of these are just going to pressure everyone else. Now this can leave you open to the wings, but I mean, it kind of depends what you want. It's optional if you want your fullbacks to press. They don't have to. I mean, if you're against better opponents, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just leave them like that. So have the whole back line as less, so they hold their shape as a 4, and then these all are more as urgent as you can get them, so they kind of apply pressure to anyone in front of your back line. At least that's the idea, and it seems to work. So anyhow, going forward, we have Ashley Barnes. He's actually one of the best in the game as a pressing forward. He is absolutely terrific at it. He's got all the ingredients to do it, which is great against teams that like to play out from the back, especially if they're no good at it. Chris Wood, he gets a lot of goals, doesn't he? Let's be honest. The amount of times we have saves and he scores goals, he's a great little goal scorer. And he'll certainly be who you want the ball to fall to. He can play as a complete forward, although I don't really like his dribbling, vision, things like that. So I prefer him as a target man. I'm not a fan of the target man, but he can do the role, so I'm happy to play him as it. Yeah, so if we get into this, we've got a cautious mentality. We want them to shoot on sight and early crosses. I don't know why I didn't click that before. The reason being, early crosses, obviously it helps the two big men up here and shoot on sight. Well, if you're going to get a chance, you're going to want to shoot. Early crosses for the counter attacks, shoot on sight for when, well, it's not a counter attack. I do not like direct passing, and you hardly ever see me use it, and the reason being is because you lose the ball almost all the time. The only big men we have are up top. So if this goes to any of our wingers or anything like that, it's not going to work. Standard is good enough. You always want quicker tempo on this sort of thing. Expressive passing, because like I said, you've got some great passes of the ball and you're going to need to take the risk. You are regroup but counter. Distribute to the target man, long kicks, lower line of engagement on both, and then just a standard pressing mentality. And that's all you want. Now the thing is, you could go more narrow, but it leaves you open to the wings, and most people use wingers in this game, unless you're Brighton, because for some reason they always play with silly formation of a 5 and then some midfielders and 2. I don't know what you want to call it, but you know what I mean. It's just, nah, it leaves them open too much. But anyhow, this has been the team. I would say, however, you've got a lot of aging players. So already, over half the team needs to be replaced. If I just take out the players that are not playing. That's how many players you need to replace. And it's a lot of work having to replace players so quickly. Yeah, I don't know where I'd even begin. I'd try and get some money for some players, I suppose, but then who's really worth anything? I mean, I wouldn't sell him. Lennon's contract's going to run out soon enough, but as I said, I'd want to keep him on. Depending what the wage could be like. Peters, I mean, he can stay on the bench a few more years if you're playing this sort of system. Like I said, you want to try and replace Lowton, so you can go on the bench and join Peters there. Jack Hawk, he's a terrific player, but you're going to need to replace him, so he can then drop to the bench, which then kind of solves the issue. Well, I say solves the issue. Jeff Hendrick, he's 27, so he'll be alright, so you have no option from the bench, I suppose. Jay Rodriguez, you need better wingers in the setup. It's just plain simple, you need better wingers. So then hopefully you can demote Lennon, put him on the bench, get rid of Jay Rodriguez, replace him with a better winger. Ben Mee, once again, it's fine to play with older defenders in this sort of way because you don't need to be quick, but this is all providing you guys still play like this. So Ashley Barnes, you're gonna need another striker in a year or 2. Wes Woods, once again you're gonna need another centre midfielder, which I mean, I suppose Hendrick could definitely grow into. How where's Ashley Barnes playing actually? He's a deep line playmaker, isn't he? Yeah, so Hendrick would need to become a deep line playmaker. I mean, he's good at it, so he could definitely do it, but nowhere near the standard. Which then leaves you with Kevin Law, who's not playing, and then the lad on the wing. So there's a lot of work to do, because otherwise, if you don't get it done sooner than not, what's going to happen is this club's just going to completely fall to bits, and you're going to get relegated. You need to act quickly with youth, and I don't think they've got much in terms of youth, which is an issue. It's a big issue. Yeah, Burnley do not have much in terms of youth. I mean, this guy looks alright, but no, you definitely have to dip into the transfer market. The only players I'd buy, if any, you've got a good budget, I would just completely splash out on youth for every position, and just, yeah, try and get him either game time, loan him out, something. Because, yeah, Burnley's going to fall to bits. It looks like it's going to fall to bits, very simply. I mean, if you can get the odd player on the cheap or on a free transfer or whatever, I would certainly do that. I mean, do they suggest any sort of free transfers for your team? Like I said, with right back, yeah, look, plenty of free right backs you can definitely look into. All quite old, don't get me wrong. Centre backs, even more. And this is something that a lot of people don't use, but I really suggest you should. Free transfers. There you go. Look at all this coming out. Absolutely brilliant. And you can do this with any position, so it's absolutely brilliant. Have they got any wingers, just out of interest? What's this lad look like? Yeah, not bad. A lot of these players will get in your team, so I'd definitely look into it. A few of the younger ones, especially, like you got a lad there, 26, 27. I mean, let's just compare him to Ben Gibson. He's not much worse, but he's actually a better passer of the ball. He's quicker, aerial. Yeah, he is not much worse, so I would really look at that. And since we're going to be working with a tight shoestring budget, I would say only go and buy free transfers for things like that, but just focus. I mean, focus on getting youth in, because you're going to need it. You really are. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.